Hello and welcome. Welcome to our Get Noticed Online podcast brought to you by DigiHype Media. DigiHype Media, digital marketing made easy. Today our special guest is Steve Harris. Steve is the owner and CEO of GolfPlay, located in now two locations in Kitchener and Waterloo, Ontario. Welcome aboard. Thanks for being here.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, excellent. Listen, maybe Steve, you can tell us a little bit about your background and sort of what you do and what got you to where you are now.
Okay. All right. Well, I grew up as a golfer.
Right.
My family is a golfing family. My dad, my uncle, my grandfather, and so on. Everybody golfed. I worked at golf courses as a kid.
Right.
Caddied a little bit when there were still caddies around. Maybe it's a bit of I'm showing my age a bit there, but I loved it. And but I got on with life and a family and a career, and didn't golf too much through those years. Very busy. Had several stops along the way in the career, and my last stop, I was worked for Cineplex, Cineplex Digital Media, which is located in Waterloo now.
Okay.
And while I was there, I got exposed to Topgolf because at one time Cineplex was interested in being the operator for Topgolf. In the end, they couldn't get a deal done for whatever reason.
Right.
But I did get a chance to see the Topgolf model in the States at a few locations, and it was kind of interesting to me to see how people were having so much fun with golf and food and beverage and music,
Right.
And many of them clearly not golfers. They were
Right.
just, but the exhilaration of hitting a ball from a third-tier driving range into these
Right.
targets. They were having a great time, and I thought that was really interesting, and it kind of struck me as maybe a possible new business to try, but taking it indoor instead of 6
Gotcha.
acres and $20 million to
Yep.
do a full-scale Topgolf style
Gotcha.
thing.
Yep.
I thought that indoor golf could benefit from that same level of quality with respect to the food, the beverage, the environment, the music, all those things. Make it more of an entertainment concept as opposed to all the indoor golf places that I had seen up to then had been mostly more low scale or didn't really focus much on the experience. It was here's
Right.
some simulators. They might sell some beer. They might have some food. The food might not be great. The environment was okay. I was looking to elevate the experience into something where maybe it would be more of a date night opportunity,
Right,
or a company would come for their Christmas party, or we might have a fundraising tournament and the big leagues and so on. And so that got my wheels turning, and I was thinking about this while I was at Cineplex, and eventually I got the courage, I suppose, to sort of leave Cineplex and try to start a company that I ended up calling GolfPlay. Because that to me summed up what I was trying to do. Right. It was the play side of golf.
Gotcha.
We're not really a performance oriented business, although people come and practice and they work on their game and we have lessons and so on. But that's
Right.
not the core focus for us. The focus is fun. We want people to have fun, come with their friends, socialize. That's the vibe we wanted, and so we put the emphasis on designing a nice environment. Our technology is Golf Zone, which is based out of South Korea. Huge over in Southeast Asia and really globally. They're the biggest simulator company in the world.
Okay.
But they aren't really well known in North America because
Gotcha.
North America is really dominated by TrackMan and Foresight and many others.
Right.
But they're all American technologies that in my humble opinion aren't as good as Golf Zone.
Gotcha.
But they're certainly more well known in the golf world. Some of the differentiating things with our simulators are that the ball automatically pops up out of the floor. You don't have to chase the ball and pick it up and tee it up every time. It's automatically popping up. The floor itself is a hydraulic swing plate. So when you're playing your round of golf on Pebble Beach or wherever, if you're on a side hill lie, the floor will lift and tilt and give you side hill lie.
Very, very
So
realistic.
that adds another sort of a level of challenge that a lot of golfers like. And then we've got multiple hitting surfaces. There's sand mats that you hit from. There's
Right.
rough fairway. And maybe the most important thing that I think they've got right is the putting. So the putting is excellent. It does take a while to get the hang of it because you got to figure out the pace of how hard to hit the ball, just like outdoors.
Just regular putting, yeah.
But once you get that feel for the putting, it's excellent. And we see a lot of hoops and hollers from the bays as a long putt goes in, or somebody makes their birdie, eagle, whatever. So those high five moments happen all the time, and a lot of it is due to the putting being so realistic. And it really does feel like when you sink a 25-foot putt, it feels like you just sunk a 25-foot putt, and that doesn't happen very often. And even holes in one, we get our share of them, but not very often. When they do happen, it's a big deal because it's not easy to get one, even indoor. So it's very realistic golf experience, but So that's great. That's the backbone of the experience. I give full credit to Golf Zone because I think if I'd chosen any other simulator, we wouldn't be as successful, honestly. And then we focus on the food. We've got a stone pizza oven in both locations. We've got a really good menu, lots of options, across the board. And then and we do that because we knew a big part of our business would be group events, parties.
Right.
And if you don't have the food, then you don't get those events. I mean, the companies don't want to take their team to a place that has so-so food. And so we knew we had to come through with good food. And that's the comment we get all the time is they didn't expect the food to be so good because, face it, if you say you're going for the company Christmas party to an indoor golf place, I mean, some people are going to say, what? Like, I'm not a golfer. This isn't going to be fun, right? But the food is great, and that's the comment we get back quite a bit. And then the people who think they're not going to have fun end up having fun because
for sure.
It's indoor golf, and that's why it's so nice for beginners or people who aren't maybe golfers. Is that there's nobody asking to play through. Right. You're not holding anybody up.
Yep.
You're not tromping through the bushes looking for your ball.
Yep. I've never done that.
No, never done that. Yeah, wow. Okay. You can hit
every single shot.
You can hit the mulligan button as many times as you want. Right. It's set to infinity.
Absolutely.
We don't care. Have fun. Try the calamari. That's kind of our approach. Is just have fun.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that it's not only geared towards people, three different groups really, businesses, right, that want to do events, big events, small, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Towards the average person who maybe knows nothing about golf but wants to go out and have a nice evening and they can play and they can have fun playing and like you said, not have to worry about anybody knocking the ball over their head. Yeah. And of course the avid golfer who can enjoy it. Oh, yeah. I love the fact that the ball pops up wherever you are because that's kind of my game,
So I have had a chance to play in other simulators now and then when I'm not around, and I've played other places, and it's amazing how I totally miss that feature. Right. Because you get used to, you hit your shot, you leave, the next ball pops up, away you go. It's the tee height is set to the height that you like. Right. So it's right where you want it every time. And
there's some serious tech behind this.
Oh, it's really impressive. But it is something that a lot of people appreciate, and we hear that comment from customers because people play around. They don't always just come to our place. There's other places to go and that are cheaper maybe or available and we're not, or whatever the case. And we often hear the comment is like, oh man, I really missed that ball coming up out of the ground because it's so you can play faster too because you're not chasing balls, so you actually get in more golf on our simulators than you would other places because of that factor. There's no teeing up, there's no getting the ball. Plus you're using your balls somewhere else. At our place we provide the balls. They're all Callaway range balls, really good quality balls, and so it just makes everything flow really nicely when you're not having to worry about the chasing the balls part. That's not fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So can you pick your game, like what type of game you want to play?
Yeah, I mean,
how's that work?
There's several options. You can play match play if you and a friend are playing. You want to have a match play. You can play match. You can play stroke play, just regular, just shoot your score. Right. There's scramble formats. Mm-hmm. We can do up to a 6-person scramble.
Oh wow.
We often do fundraising tournaments where we've got 2 teams of 3 in each bay, and they play a 9-hole 3-person scramble. Right. And it's a lot of fun. It becomes a bit of a golf party. Yeah. And fundraisers are done that same way so that we can maximize how many people are in each bay, and then they can the charity or the minor hockey team or the dance studio can raise as much money as possible. Right. Because they can get their per per person price is as low as possible.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's excellent. So this is kind of interesting, and like with every guest we have on, I usually do a little bit of research into the field, and I mean, I was a pretty heavy duty golf player back in the 80s and 90s. Until I had kids, and then of course that kind of slowed down. Right?
I get it.
Just
Yeah,
too busy.
happened to me too.
Yeah, I mean 3-4 days a week was not
Yep.
out of the norm for me to play golf. Never really improved my game, but nonetheless, that's a whole other story. But just doing a little bit of research, this is kind of interesting. Approximately 6 million Canadians played golf in 2023, which was an all-time high. Golf is the number one participation sport in the country.
Yep.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible. Golf rounds last year, 74 million rounds. This is just Canada.
Yeah.
74 million.
Yeah. And that's probably just outdoor.
That's just outdoor.
Right.
Nothing to do with indoor.
We've got lots of customers who tell us they play more golf indoors than outdoors.
Wow. See, that's pretty
And,
incredible.
and you think about it because it's very easy to fit it in to your life.
Right.
If you wanted to play golf with me, say tomorrow, we could just find 2 hours and meet at GolfPlay, play our round, and get on with our day. If we wanted to play in the summertime, well, we'd have to put aside 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah, it's a day,
it kills the day.
Yeah,
So
it's a day.
indoor golf, you get your swings in. It's still a lot of fun, very competitive.
Right.
And so, yeah, golf and indoor golf in particular is growing.
Yeah, no, I absolutely. So, I mean, for me, there was not a reason why, but this is definitely something that's obviously needed and something that's, a big part of what people want to do indoors, right? Especially in the wintertime. We're in Canada, right?
Yeah,
So,
for sure. The other nice thing or interesting thing, I guess, about golf as a sport, it's a professional sport. I mean, it's the same as hockey and football and soccer and all the others, but it's the only professional sport that you can drink and eat while playing. So you come to our place, you're not waiting till your round is done before you sit down and have something to eat or a beer or whatever. You can do that while you're playing, and it becomes a real social experience. That's the difference, I think, between indoor and outdoor. Indoor is more social.
Right.
Outdoor's great. I love golfing. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not saying that it's better indoor, but it's certainly a different experience. And if you're looking for a social experience, it's more fun to be amongst a bunch of people in a party atmosphere. Yeah. Everybody's having a good time around you as well, and you're kind of plugging into other screens. You can see what's going on. And you hear those high five moments in the bay down the way. Right. It just adds to the excitement and entertainment value, and I think that's what differentiates us and indoor golf from the outdoor version. It's outdoor, you're on your own with whoever you're playing with, and of course nature, you can't beat it. And sunshine, but if on the indoor side, it's really great to connect with people. It's a great way to have fun together.
Totally agree. I love the fact that you guys not only focus on the golf play and the entertaining side, but on the food side as well, because that's a big part. I mean, I've been to many different leagues for things like bowling and stuff like that with my wife and so on. Yeah. And I mean, the bowling might be great, but then you go try the food and the food's like, ugh, can't really do this, So it's nice to have that mix, plus an environment based on the website. It's a really awesome looking environment. Yeah,
we put the effort into designing a space that felt we didn't want the country club feel, so we didn't want oak and that feeling of entitlement around a private club. Yeah, we wanted it to be welcoming. We didn't want to put up pictures of Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus and all of that reverential stuff. Sure, we just wanted it to be more like a bar. Yeah, a restaurant that's got an up-tempo beat to it. Gotcha. And fun, good service, and the food. I haven't done it yet, but I'm planning. One of these days, I'll do a campaign where it's come for the food, stay for the golf. Right. Because great tagline. Because it kind of twists it. Most people come for the golf, and then the food's like, oh, hey, they got good food. Like who knew? But we've got to kind of get that turned around a little bit so people realize, hey, the food's great there. Why don't we go there Friday night and we'll meet the Hendersons and let's play some golf together and have a nice night out.
Yeah, no, that's a great tagline, like I mentioned. Tell us about the Golf Zone Tour. Oh, what's that all about?
Okay, so the Golf Zone Tour has just started this year, and hats off to Golf Zone America, who decided to get this going this year in North America. So in Korea and Japan and China and Southeast Asia in general, they have a professional level indoor golf tour. that's been established for 10 years. They have stars. They have a huge YouTube following. It's a professional sport there, indoor golf.
Right.
And so they decided to bring that to North America and get it started this year in a very baby step kind of a way.
Sure.
And they approached different operators like GolfPlay in North America and in London and Mexico. So that in the UK, they've got one location in London, I think 3 or maybe just 2 in Mexico. We're representing Toronto in this league, I guess, because Kitchener-Waterloo doesn't have that name internationally, so they tagged us as Toronto, and we're playing. So there's 12 teams, Boston and so on. And we played a series of matches to seed us. So we played 5 different matches. I should back up and say one really cool thing about the Golf Zone technology as well is that it's networkable, so which means you can have network play. So we can play against London, England in real time and see their shots on the screen as they're coming into the green, and they can see our shots as they're coming into the green.
Wow, how cool is that?
So in real time, we know, hey, that guy went in the bunker. Okay, he went OB. Okay, let's just play safe or whatever.
Right.
And from a spectating
strategy,
perspective, it's just like playing a real game. Very competitive, very fun. We were really fortunate. We had some great local golfers on our team. It was a 5-person team.
Right.
We ended up doing very well in the matches. We won our first 5 matches.
Wow.
And some of them really quite convincingly. And so we went into the next round of play, which is the elimination rounds.
Right.
We played that match. I can't release the results yet because there's about to drop
Not official.
a YouTube video of the match because they actually flew in a crew that filmed the whole thing.
Wow.
And they're releasing it as a very professional level, like with announcers and everything.
That's awesome.
So that'll be out soon. Yeah, and by the time this hits wherever it goes, maybe we can put the link into your.
There you go. Yeah, for sure.
But because this was very exciting, I'll tell you that much.
That's awesome.
It was really cool.
That's really, really cool.
Oh, I should also just one.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
All that Golf Zone tour was being towards the grand match. The final match between the top 2 teams was going to be played at the PGA show in Orlando in January, live, and the 2 teams head to head. And grand prize is $150,000 US.
That's incredible.
So the winning team is going to get, those 5 guys are going to split $150,000 US between them.
That's pretty good.
The other team gets nothing. So it's all or nothing.
That's crazy.
So it's going to be. I'm going to be down at the PGA show. And it'll be very exciting to watch that.
So we can't say who they are, but good luck.
Yes, exactly. It's good luck. I don't know who the final 2 teams are going to be yet. The matches are still going. But by the time you get to January 20th, we'll know who's.
Okay, sounds good. That's great. Tell me about the leagues. You have leagues there.
Yeah, that's really important for us. We've been running leagues right from the beginning, and they've grown over the years. I think our approach to leagues is, again, it's fun, and it's fun getting prizes.
Right.
So we have lots of different ways you can get prizes. There's net scoring because the system tracks your individual play. So every time you play, it knows what tees you played from, what course you played, how many times you hit the mulligan button. And so on. And eventually, as you play the rounds of golf, it says, okay, here's your handicap. We know how you play.
Right.
And so we use that handicap every week to, find out who won the scoring, net scoring, as well as gross scoring, different flights based on your handicap and so on. So there's lots of different ways you can win. We give out just for fun, we call it the double par nacho, which is if you get a double par, which is not that uncommon.
Right.
But if you do get a double par on a hole, then you're entered into the draw to win the double par nacho each week.
That's awesome.
And we got another one called the Gentleman of the Week,
right,
which is the person that maybe had the toughest round of the week, the worst score, and they get the prize for the Gentleman of the Week. And that's sponsored by a company called Gents Boutique. It's a menswear golf play. But anyway, lots of different prizes.
Nice.
We have local community sponsors. Cottle's Catch. Ron Cottle sponsors the closest to the fin contest, as we call it, just for him. And he gives us lots of prizes that we give out. He gets great recognition through our business, because we have ways to include and thank our sponsors, and so
Right.
so it gets them to come into his business. We've got a butcher that's involved, a cheese shop that's involved.
That's fantastic.
Cambridge Golf is a sponsor, and so on. So lots of different local businesses are part of it.
Right.
On the prize side, and then we give out our own gift cards and so food, free appetizers, and that kind of thing.
Right, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, golf is such a universal sport, right?
Yeah.
And to be able to be involved in that, I think even at the sponsorship level, people want to be part of that, right?
I think so. It's a good demographic too.
Right.
I mean, if you can afford to golf, it's not an inexpensive sport to play.
No, it's not.
And so if you can afford to golf, chances are you're in a pretty attractive demographic for a lot of businesses to reach.
For sure.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk about anything else? Anything specific about your company?
I can go on and on.
Floor's yours. Tell us some more. What else is going on with GolfPlay?
All right. Well, probably the most biggest recent news is that we've started to franchise.
Right.
And so when we opened our first location in Kitchener, we got most things right.
Right.
And I'm pretty proud of that. And it's been successful. Now, when we opened up our Waterloo location, we did a few things differently and tweaked it and got the model a little tighter.
Right.
And we've had many people over the years ask us if we're franchising or is this a franchise, and we just said no. This is it. This is only one. And so we knew there was interest out there for the concept. And most of the other indoor golf concepts that are growing out there are the opposite end of the spectrum. They're less expensive to get into. Certainly, to open a GolfPlay, you need some serious capital to do that.
Yep.
But so there's a lot of sort of the cheap and cheerful experiences that some of them are completely unattended, and you don't have anyone there. There's no music, there's no food, there's no people. But there's a simulator.
Right.
And so that's one end of the spectrum. We're at the other end of the spectrum, and that so far hasn't really been approached the way we have. And we see we see a success. And we see a need in the community for a place to have these social experiences around the game of golf. And so we just started franchising. We've got, we haven't really dug in and done our marketing. That's going to start in the new year. But we've still got about a dozen or so interested parties that we're working with to see if we can't make it happen. It's challenging, partly because of the capital required. And also finding the right location. So that's always key in real estate, right? You need a fairly good location, of course, but also the right square footage and the right shape of unit, because we got to fit our simulators in.
Okay.
But it's exciting too, because I know that for me, it's been very gratifying to open this business, to see it come to life, to meet so many different people in the community, either customers or businesses that we work with, or even right now I've met you, and it's nice to have that way to plug into the local community.
Absolutely.
And so and it's a great lifestyle business because I've made a lot of friends. Now some customers are friends. I see them all the time.
Absolutely.
And my wife runs the ladies league. She's made many friends through that. She golfs with many of the ladies now in the summer and go away on golf trips together and so on, because it all happens starting a GolfPlay. And that's not just happening for me and my wife. That's happening for some of our customers too, who've met each other in the league, and now they're playing in the summers and so on. So it's really cool to see all that happen. And the nice thing about this business is we're super busy in the wintertime. Like right now, we're just very busy, which is great. But by the time May rolls around, we really slow down, of course, because most of our customers now return to their home courses and they play outside, and I do too. So when it's slower in the summer, that's nice. We've got a family cottage. I get to spend a bit of time there. I get to breathe a bit. And so from a lifestyle perspective, it's a nice business to own. And I think it's for someone maybe at my similar stage of career or life, right, where you want one more kick at the can, maybe a bit of autonomy. You want to do your own thing, make your own decisions, and run your own business. This is a great one to tackle.
Yeah, and Steve, I got to be honest with you. I mean, you say it's the kick at the ball or the can or whatever. I'm telling you, this thing is going to be a home run, because based on what I've heard and the facility, looking at the online sort of presentation of your company, I think it's a winner big time.
I appreciate that.
So, folks, you got to check this place out, GolfPlay in Kitchener, and now, of course, in Waterloo.
Yeah.
And for investors who are looking for maybe an opportunity,
Yeah.
reach out to these folks. This may be something that could tweak a lot of people's interest that have the investment capability and want to do something like this. So I think it's fantastic. Before we wrap up, tell me about any promotions you guys have, because obviously we're coming into the holiday season and Christmas and stuff like that. What's going on?
Yeah, well, we've just put out a couple of promotions. One is we're doing, we've never done this before, a side-by-side party special.
Okay.
So we do get a lot of customers who just organically book 2 bays side-by-side because maybe there's a group of 8 of them. It could be a bachelor party.
Okay.
But it could be at the holiday time, we see a lot of families who are looking for ways to get together and have some fun.
And it's
because,
more social,
Uncle Henry's in from out of town or whatever, right? And so there's why don't we all go to GolfPlay? But 1 bay is usually not enough.
Right.
So we're doing this side-by-side promotion where if you get 2 bays side-by-side for 3 hours, you get 25% off the regular bay rate, and come on in and up to 12 people. So we think that's going to be successful. We just launched it yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Oh,
wow. And then in the new year, in January, we've got a few things up our sleeve we're going to kind of launch as well. Once the new year once we get through the holidays,
then you have some new things going on.
Well, January is kind of a Christmas hangover month, right? Where everybody's kind of paying their credit card bills and just trying to get back into their groove. And so we get that. So we'll have a few specials starting in January that hopefully those people will find a reason to come back in and play.
Excellent. Well, listen, while we wrap up, tell us where we can get your information, how we can get in touch with you. Your website address or whatever else.
Yeah, golfplay.ca. So that's it. As far as the website goes, there's lots of information there. There is also a link there to the franchising website if someone is interested to look at that.
Excellent.
If you email info@golfplay.ca, they all come to me.
Okay.
So that's how you can reach me if you wanted to, is just info@golfplay.ca.
Excellent. Great. Steve, thanks for being here. And have a great holiday season, and congrats on such early success and many, many more years of success. Great for you.
Thanks so
very
much.
Happy for you.
Thanks for doing this. It was fun.
You're very welcome. Glad to have you here.
Okay.
Folks, thanks for being here, and thanks for watching our video. Again, our guest today was Steve Harris, CEO of GolfPlay. Look for them at golfplay.ca in Kitchener and Waterloo, Ontario. Thanks, folks.